Yeah, I don't know. Well, we're going to process now, which will be more of a standard map, you know, more of a straightforward 5CP. So we saw Fenix had, you know, the potential. Like Epsilon looked better than Fenneks, but they didn't look unbeatable by any stretch of the imagination. Like Fenix show, even though it's 3-0, Fenix have shown they can win exchanges, you know, like.
Yeah, they can definitely win exchanges. It's just a matter of how good of a start of exchange they can get. Like if they get a war early off the bat, then I think they can just snowball that into a win. But they really require to get those picks early, because I don't think they can win against Epsilon in a straight DM fight. So if they can get those major picks early, then it'll definitely be in their favor.
I mean, it was weird with War, because like on every mid, War seemed to be picked. Like every one of the mids, he seemed to be focused down and taken out of the game. But looking at the stats, he only died 9 times. So, you know, like a third of his deaths are on mid. Outside of the mids, he's really not dying that much at all.
Yeah, he's only dying when the whole team is committing. So you expect people to die in a committing effort, you can say. So him dying then isn't really surprising. It's just a matter of focus.
Yeah. It's weird. It's just weird how they focus him so much on the mids, but then through the rest of it, they either don't get an opportunity to focus him, or they're choosing not to focus him. There's just nowhere near as much pressure on him. But I guess the biggest stat, the kind of one that tells the whole story of everything, is the medic deaths. Skeege had 10, Nox had 3.
Yeah, that really tells the story of the whole game there.
I mean, if you're looking at the heals, then Nox got about over 1,000 more heals at a minute. Not 1,000, 100. That's way too much, 1,000. 100 more heals a minute. He got 4 more rebound than him. Yeah, it just enabled Mike certainly on Ward just to stay alive.
It's pretty
All
good.
the Epsilon players just staying alive, cleaning up those frags.
You would see it constantly. Like whenever Fenneks just pushed in, Epsilon allowed them to walk forward, and all they had to do was just walk backwards, give him the point, and just wait for the advantage.
Every single Fenix player, except for Skeege, had a death a minute, if not more. That's a fun stat.
That's a fun stat.
Yeah, that's kind of it shows the thing of the whole game. Do you think it's going to be the same on Process then? Obviously, it's going to be a bit slower because it's not just that constant chaos that is Viaduct.
I have a feeling that Tech and Mike are just too strong for Fenneks to deal with, on top of dealing with all the other strong players. So it might be same story, but they really need to like bring their A game to not be completely rolled on this map.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not sure if we'll see Tech snipe as much. Certainly not on the mids like he did in Viaduct. So, but obviously, I remember watching the show match. I think it was when Tech played, and he just did the fast rollout and kept catching out Banny. So that'll be something Rib will have to take into mind as they do go live. It looks like we're going live in this second map. It's going to be Process, Epsilon versus Fenneks. Fenneks still on red, Epsilon still on blue. I'm going to watch for Demo Men to mid, see who can be there faster. Looks like Rib's on time. Doesn't look like. Here comes the soldier right now. Here comes Tech. Straight onto Rib. Pops him up in the air. Air shots him. And Rib's going to crater. Great play from Tech right there.
It's pretty strong play from Tech here. And as we can see now, Fenneks are just moving over to the right side of their mid. And they're just taking each other's sides. It looks like Epsilon just trying to heal their players. Fenneks actually taking the high ground here. And that can prove to be lethal for them. But War actually manages to push them off it. But the high ground seems to be really good for Fenneks here, and he's just forcing Epsilon out there.
Yeah, as soon as Fenneks took that high ground, Epsilon just decided they didn't want this fight. Like, someone called it and they all just backed out of sewers straight away. As Color is actually able to pick Walters on flank right there. As we see trading going on up front. In comes a soldier. He's just holding on to the Uber even though he's lost his players. Rib's going to jump back to him. Rib will be safe with the Uber, but it is only Rib and Skeege, and somehow Epsilon have just completely dismantled this Fenneks roster. And now it looks like Tech wants to chase some more as well. Skeege is going to surf it out. Rib's going to try and do some work, but there's a lot of players arriving, and War's going to lock down that chokes and none of already. Oh, actually, Rib catches him out. Did he have a sticky trap, or was War just really weak?
It was just some few stickies lying on the floor there, and War just like fell off the rock and landed on him.
Solid Epsilon style play. As we see, Tech goes in to try and catch out Skeege, but he's going to get eaten up as well. And now Fenneks regain the mid straight away, but because Epsilon didn't cap it, it means that cap is really close. I don't think anyone is in position. Yeah, all the Epsilon players are in front of Fenneks, so no worries of a back cap. They're just going to get this CP2 for free. I don't think Epsilon are going to try anything here.
No, Epsilon just have to hold this last and then deal with the Uber that comes in from Fenneks. I don't think they can push out with this Uber. It's only like 8%, so and it's fading now, so it's going to be an equal Uber situation. They just need to force them and then defend last and then push out.
Yeah, it looks like Fenneks just trying to feel their way in, don't want to commit. Skeege actually goes down to 30 health, but doesn't waste for Uber, gets the health back. And it's like Fenneks are just trying to find a weakness, a chink in Epsilon's armor, a way to get in. But Epsilon are pretty close on doors. Actually, a soldier's going to come in. Kalari not getting anywhere near Nox right now. I don't know if they're trying to bait Epsilon into the push. Like, sacrifice a player, the old reverse pick. Skeege is actually stuck on the floor right now. Skeege is going to be forced. A bit of a missed position right there. They're going to have to chase this into lobby to force Nox. Nox is still just holding on, 65 health. Nox refuses to pop, goes down to 7 HP, will eventually pop. Salmon does just about enough damage, and now Mike's going to try and push out with this Uber. But Fenneks are already backed out quite safely. They're actually going to try and come from lower IT right now. Rib's doing a lot of work. Rib's doing a lot of work in the first map as well, putting out so much damage for his team. And it looks like Fenneks might be able to hold this. Skeege is going to kill War as well. And they might just open the door. No demo man, that means they can get through the doors a little bit more easily. And they want to come in this bottom left-hand side.
It looks like the Epsilon scouts are just wrecking the Fenneks scouts. And together they're causing so much havoc for the Fenneks team. But the Soldier Fenneks come in and clean up mid-C at least. While Kyler dies on the point, trying to defend it. And it looks like first point goes to Fenneks.
Yeah, apologies to our viewers. John's TF2 has just died a horrible fate. More horrible than Rib's fate on that first middle. So he is reconnecting now, and there'll be some pictures to go along with these words soon. Until then, it's Radio Fortress TV. As we see, both soldiers trying to go fast, none really committing onto the demo man though. Both teams again just taking their own high ground, not really committing anyone yet. Mitzi will be the first one to die thanks to Kalari. GF18 is going to take down Tech as well. Fenneks are kind of back in their corner right now, but they're getting a lot of frag. Kyler tries to go aggressive, but only manages to trade with Salmon. Meanwhile, War and Nox have left at kill to defend himself from Kalari. Only Nox and War backing out now, all the way out on their own last, I believe. Yes.
That was a really interesting mid. Fenneks, they just took the high ground on their side, and Epsilon, they just kept sending in one player, and Fenneks just had to deal with one player at one time, so they didn't really have much distraction when they defended it.
Yeah, but Epsilon do want to hold on to their second point, and they do get one pick. Tech is swapped over to Sniper as well, so that's for roaming soldier of Epsilon and Sniper. And with those, they got Rib as well, so with these picks, they're going to try and push it through. Lara's going to come in, he manages to trade for War, but Nox still untouched. Fenneks look like they want to hold on to this point, they're holding close. No, they're just going to back out Surs. It looked like they want to block with Uber, but they've just sacrificed that point as well. Conceding a lot of ground, Fenneks are right now. And now that Sniper has a big sightline on that choke point, Skeege is thinking about walking through. Soldier's going to jump in, Rib's going to walk through as well. Skeege is just going to Uber because of a Sniper threat. And now it's just Rib trying to do work. Nox also popped his Uber. Rib's got a little bit more Uber to work with, but he's not got a whole back up. They're going to try and come in now. Scouts come in. Scouts pretty weak on point, but get the mic frag. And now Epsilon are caught all at sea, and Epsilon just going to have to run away. Really sloppy play from Epsilon there. Like, players were just able to walk in from all the entrances now when they were holding mid, without any really much contention whatsoever. Yeah,
I feel like they should really let War ski up the point and just have a soldier protecting and dealing with whatever walks over the key, so that War stickers are still useful for all the other players that comes behind him, and he doesn't have to debt with the first person that comes in.
Yeah, it was really odd, just easy for Fenneks, but Fenneks did well to capitalise, and now we're in pretty much an even Uber situation once again. Tech is still on the Sniper, so I'm going to go and find Tech's point of view and see what his plan of action is. What was that, John? You're back? John's back. Put it on Tech, Josh, as we're looking at this stalemate. Looks like they're trying to get Tech and Ang. They're just trying to clear out someone from Surs. The whole Fenneks team is in there. Ubers will be exchanged right now. Skeege and Salmon popping off. It's just a big old high five. Mike's going to stay in too long. Don't know why he stayed in there. He knew Fenneks popped later. Just going to throw his life away right there. And now Fenix look like they want to try and come in off this. But they're taking their time over this, so they're just healing up, I guess. Want to make sure they've got all the buffs before they commit. Here comes the soldiers, pressure onto the sniper right now. Rib's doing a lot of pressure as well, forces them out bottom left. Kalari does go down on the flank, and that scout might try and come back.
And Epsilon are now coming in with them, man. They're just peeking, and now they're moving back. They're just pushing over in the lower left corner here, and they seem to not get anything done. So they rotate around the rollout, where they do get Mike. So we're going to see they have people advantage now, so they should be pushing in. They almost have Uber as well, so I think they're just waiting for that until they push. Fenneks are also going to go with a spy play here with Kalari. Let's see how that works out. But they've actually Ubered in, or pushed in right side rather. Now the Uber goes off for both teams, and Fenneks managed to sneak the point while all the Epsilon players were focusing on the left side. That's really odd play, and we see Fenneks with 2 rounds up now. And we'll see how this mid goes. Looks like War is the first demo man had. They're quite equal, both demos. War is getting the better damage off here, and Epsilon has already secured the top. It looks like the scouts are going to stay a bit passive while nothing is really happening. Both the Fenneks soldiers are dedicating on the right side there. They don't really get anything done, and a cloak gets cleaned up while it looks like they managed to get the other picks here from the Fenneks scout. They just got Mike and Tech out of that. And right now they're pushing Epsilon out of choke, and it's just Nox alive, and he's surely going to die here. He's only 10 HP and he's dead, yeah. And that's mid for Fenneks. So they have a clear advantage here. They just need to cap the point now and push without Uber advantage on to last. They can, if they're really lucky, they can force them out of second. Mike tries to bomb them there, but doesn't get anything done, and GF18 just completely denies him. Rib goes too far up, and Tech comes out of the balcony. He manages to kill Rib while he was walking upwards to the point. The Epsilon are doing a good job in delaying them a bit here, but Fenneks still have that Uber, and Epsilon are nowhere near to the Uber, so they're just going to push in here, lower left side, and it looks like the Uber goes off there. The scouts are rushing the point. The Stickers on the point. Stickers have been deaded, and they're just dedicating for the point. And they lost 2 people, both Skeech and GF18 on the point. And it looks like the Fennec scout soldiers are jumping in here, while the Epsilon people are just defending this point like they can. Epsilon should be pushing out here. There's only 2 people alive from Fenneks. And it looks like they've found Rib in PC.
Control point is being captured.
He's down. There's Walters coming in for PC. Can Mike get him as well? And Epsilon do manages to get a second here. It's equal Ubers for both teams. And it looks like Epsilon is just going to push through Show. They send their soldiers in first, and Fenneks, they send their soldiers in afterwards to counter jump them. Fenneks actually getting the initial frags here off the flank, and it looks like they're going to keep rushing on the flank to see if they can get any more frags, and they get Kyler. And they're just walking in there right now.
I'm back. Are Fenneks really 2 rounds up?
They are really 2 rounds up, yeah, and they're pushing them on to last now with Uber advantage.
Damn, Fenneks. Yeah, they've only got a small Uber advantage. Looks like Epsilon going to try and hold in lobby to delay. There's actually a soldier out on Ski just going to force him. Tech with the big force work should buy Nox enough time to get the Uber right now. Looks like Fenneks want to try and go in anyway. They're actually going to force him in lobby. Mike's holding close to try and catch the players down. Yeah, they've got 2 frags so far, and Mike's going to keep chasing. But it looks like they've fallen out IT and just going to get safely all the way back to mid there. Really nice play from Tech there to get the Uber out, yeah.
As we can see, like, Fenneks are just controlling this game. I think, is Epsilon maybe too new with the players? Is that what's happening, or?
I don't know, man. They just blow. It really just looked like a proper Epsilon team. Like normally when an Epsilon team forms a new roster, everyone's like quaking in their boots. But with the roster this season, like they keep changing it, keep trying to make it better, but it just seems to be getting steadily worse. It's like they're dropping out points to Lazy Pandas right now, and right now they're 2-0 down 10 minutes in. I mean, it's only 10 minutes in, so they've still got plenty of time, but it's not looking good right now because with that heavy of GF18, They're pushing them even further back. Gonna trade Beavers on last. Skeet might have a bit of trouble getting out right now, but Soldier's gonna try and commit to buy him time. He's gonna go onto Nox, but Nox will survive once again. We're gonna try and Reaper for heavy right now, but Mike's getting up so much damage on that defensive pocket roll.
This is exactly what Epsilon needed right now. They needed to get that damage out, and they needed to start capping the points early. They're already forcing people, like the Fenneks people, to drop into the further away on mids, like on the mid point around that. They're not holding close on mid, so Epsilon are just completely controlling the pace now.
Yeah, real swing of control as they're coming in onto this middle point. Fenix scouts look like they want to fight it, but they've taken a lot of damage. Walters will go down, so will GF18, and Fenix are just going to have to concede ground right now. Oh, pardon me, I'm coughing so much. As Epsilon going to keep coming out of this suicide, Soldier's going to lead the way, and Fenix looks like they just want to concede this point, build on that Uber charge to hold last with. And maybe just be a case of turtling up now. 2 rounds up, turtle for 20 minutes.
I really think Fenix should defend it on the second there. I think they're giving Epsilon a bit too much room in that momentum push. But we'll see what they do here on the last. If they manage to defend against Epsilon, they can shift the momentum to their side.
Yeah,
Epsilon are coming in with Uber.
Yeah, they've got 3 pigs before they even Ubered in right now. Skee's now just going to have to keep his other players alive. But it's players all around them, they can't get really more than 1 frag on the Epsilon players. Big trouble for Fenix right now, but Reaper's just going to come right now. They need some frags early on and they're going to be in trouble. GF18 goes down, Salmon trades with War, but it's too little too late as Epsilon swarm the point on the repush. And it just all just individual mistakes there from Fenix, getting all 3 different players getting picked on last before the Ubers were exchanged. Meant that last push was over before it even started.
We'll see what Rib does in this mid. He's been controlling middle quite confidently. War is a lot faster than Rib, and Rib is not even showing up in mid yet. They seem to be taking the right side for Fenix there, and Epsilon are doing the same thing on their side. But War is just too far out, and he almost got picked off there. Salmon goes down, and Skeech goes down as well. Epsilon gets taken down by GF18, while GF18 takes down Mitzi, just trading off there. Kilari jumps in, or it's like, yeah, that's Kilari. And he gets no one, and Mike actually managed to kill him while the scout that Kilari was focusing on had no idea where Kilari was.
Yeah, much more convincing middle from Epsilon there. You saw him just hold on to their own high ground, and then the big bomb from Tech came in and just forced Fenix into a corner. Epsilon picked off the players who weren't focused in Tech, and then were just able to walk forward with a player advantage. Can control in mid and got an Uber advantage for CP2.
And it looks like we have Epsilon pushing PC here. They're being really slow considering they have 50% Uber advantage. They could be pushing really fast. They're still getting locked in there. Then now Ubers have come out for them. They really need to push into them, get those extra frags. Skeej is really defensive here. He's already on last. The Uber
Soldier's on him though. He's going to surf it up, going to avoid the air shot. There is a scout up top though, and Skeej is going to survive, but all the other players are getting picked off. Rib's now alone on the point. Skeej is going to die trying to come out of spawn, and Epsilon are going to tie this up with a swift second round for them.
Yeah, these 2 rounds have been so quickly. They've taken these 2 rounds so quickly. It's Fenix really need to slow them down a bit more. It looks like they're losing momentum, and they let them get more momentum for free.
It's for players on the flank. I'm watching Epsilon's Ubers, and Epsilon's Ubers aren't achieving a whole lot, and then Walters and someone else will just die on the flank or something. They're just throwing it away. Epsilon aren't doing that much. Fenix are just throwing their players away. As we see sort of both teams trading spam on this first middle. Fenix are going to get awfully weak trying to go aggressive right now. And Mike is just controlling the top by himself. Fenix are in an awful position right now as Mike drops down onto Skeej. Going to clean up Skeej. Maybe going to clean up the scout as well. Made the scout. Nox is still alive as Mike is DMing on middle. GF18 gets Kyler. And this fight's become really scattered. It looks like Epsilon had it under control, but now Rib's coming back in.
That was
Did Mitzi just run away there?
No, what happened was that Walters positioned himself in between the medic and the scout. So the scout was too afraid to move closer to Walters in case he would kill him then, and Nox was too afraid to move over to his medic in case Walters would switch the focus over to him, and they just didn't manage to get anything done.
Yeah, Tech with the air shot to Klar in there to help deny the 4. Now Fenix are going to have to rely on spam, and there is a lot of spam on that choke. They're making their way in steadily. A couple of the players are already through. They're coming through now. But all will go down to a sticky trap, I believe. But I think Fenneks showed their hand too early with that Kalari bomb, and Epsilon were able to just hold on to Nasuba. But Ski just getting awfully close. It could be a misstep from Epsilon if they go in now without their demo man. It'll just be an Uber exchange without their demo man. But it looks like they're just going to hold. Epsilon are aware Ski should have Uber by now.
And Fenneks seems to want to go in. They're actually just going in with Rib and Ski Dome. They do get tech down. Salomon is just controlling the top right now. And Uber just pops off from Epsilon. And we'll see what happens with these. Like all the Fenneks guys are still alive, but they're out of the Uber, out of any vicinity. Rib does get taken down. And
they've sacrificed too much for this, so like they chased really hard. And like, it's really weird, the whole thing's really weird. The Ubers themselves seem to do nothing. It's all about the flank play, like whoever wins the flank battle wins this. The Ubers just are irrelevant in this match.
Yeah, what Fenneks did there was that they recognized that their Uber was a lot more early than theirs. So when their Uber went out, their team just scattered. And you had like four or three people on like 40 HP, everyone. And Epsilon just didn't manage to get anyone of those guys that they really need to take down in order to defend the middle.
Yeah, it looks like Epsilon wanted to try and get a force onto Skeech there as well before he had Uber or a frag onto him even. But they just lost 2 players. Kalari's going to go down right now. Rib's going to go down. And again, like, they have Uber advantage, but they just seem to be throwing it away. They're now going to Uber a single scout. Warhier's going to go down, but the scout's now going to try and go for knocks. Actually, a soldier lands on him. Salmon sets up kill there, and what looked like it was going to be a really terrible situation is changed as soon as Salmon comes in with that bomb. That soldier, Mike, trying to go in by himself, absolutely destroyed as well. And all of a sudden, this looks really good for Fenneks.
The scouts of Fenneks are doing a lot of work this game. Like, they seem to not be like the scout department either. That might have to do with Mitty.
Yeah, definitely. Like, he's not the worst scout in the world, but I really don't think he's on the same level as Walters, and definitely not GF18.
He main soldier, and he's also playing all the way from Canada, so it's definitely a downgrade compared to Bash.
Yeah, fast soldier rollouts again, not doing a whole lot. Both Dem and Men just kind of taking it slow, playing it safe. Both teams just taking their own high ground, really. Fenneks moving around on the right-hand side. Epsilon really defensive. Soldier Bomb's going to come in behind Rib right now. Going to juggle Rib forward. He's going to go down. Now Epsilon have worked themselves a player advantage. Now I think they're all going to come forward as well.
And again, like,
they're just going to pick them all off, yeah.
Yeah, Fenneks, they're just like scattering around too much, and Epsilon can just stay together and then finish off in the frags. And is this a pause, we see?
I hope so. I thought I timed out again, but no, it does seem to be an actual pause. It looks like Tech's trying to skip fast to try and catch Skeege. He's not a mile away if he lands his next jump. It's going to be interesting to see, because I presume Tech's just going to throw himself like all in for this. I can't see what the spawn times are, though. I don't know if you remember the spawn times on the Fenix players. It'll be interesting to see, though, because right now Fenix are in the lead again with 10 minutes left. It's only one round though, and Epsilon, especially if Tech gets Skeege, they've got a big advantage. Even if they don't get Skeege right here, they might still be able to go all the way to last before Skeege can get Uber, because he's only on 60%.
If Epsilon are definitely rushing this, they definitely could be pushing without having to care about the Uber situation at all. They really need to like get Kyler onto the point immediately, and then they just push into last, completely forgetting about second.
From what I can tell, it's Mike who times out in 90 seconds in the future.
That might that be after they've capped second, maybe? Oh, last rather.
Yeah, maybe if they catch Skeege, then probably yeah. Just want to point out something while we're in the downtime. I'm looking at the frags right now, scout-wise. GF18's on 25, top of a frag board. Kyler's behind him on 23. Walters is on 16. Where do you think Mitch is in this scale?
I don't know, is he in like 16?
He's on 6.
On 6, okay, so...
He's on 6. 6 frag.
So he's not proven to be... is not proving to be the most useful of the Epsilon players.
Yeah. You know, before when I was saying the Ubers don't seem to be coming into it that much, it seems to be more about the players, whoever seems to win the flank battle, because the flank just seem to be happy to fight, you know, rather than playing it safe or whatever.
Yeah.
And if Mitzi's losing all these one-on-ones, which I presume a lot of these are one-on-ones, you know, to various players on the flank, I imagine that's why Epsilon are struggling, because if Mitzi's losing a lot of one-on-ones more than Bashford, suddenly that flank's weak. Their Uber, like, Mike isn't getting a whole lot done with the Ubers. Uber's war, and it's all coming down to sort of that after Uber messy fight. But if they're already a scout down, they're already at a disadvantage.
Yeah, it looks like that is what is happening in this game. It's interesting to think that Mitzi actually only has 6 frags. He does have 27 points. He should be, I don't know, is he only capping or something? I know Mitzi usually plays soldier, but I've never seen him play scout before.
I've only seen him play scout before in mixes, and he's always done alright for Fenix. There's a big difference between playing in mixes and then playing against GF18 and Walters. Let me put my eyes on Tech. As it comes off, it looks like they're completely safe. Skeej got out. But they don't have Uber for last. They're going to try and get on Skeej right now. Skeej is trying to go into spawn. Skeej will get into spawn, but they kill everybody else with the Uber. So Skeej getting in spawn maybe isn't relevant. They're trying to come out of a scout right now. Skeej is trying to fight his way out. The second cap will go down, and now they're all going to get on last. And Skeej's Uber doesn't come into it at all. Skeej does survive, but they just lose anyway.
There's not much to say about that. Like, the situation was already planned out with only Skeej and Rib alive when they were defending, and all the respawners were coming out of one door. So War just had to put his stickies on there, and then they won it.
Yeah. Tech's going again, steals the enemy health back. Meanwhile, Kalari's going to get onto War. War will survive, and now Epsilon can try and come forward with that player advantage. Doesn't look like we're going to get a big bomb from Tech, and Fenneks just conceding the ground straight away. Really passive there. I can't see the overall health, but they seemed pretty healthy. But now Fenneks are just going to keep on pushing through. War leading the charge. Surely Fenneks can't CP2 as well.
Epsilon has lost no players currently, and are already taken CP2, and I haven't even capped mid yet. So this is really in Epsilon's favor. It looks like Mike has timed out now, so this is where the pause happened.
Yep, War's asking for it in chat. Pause, please. Yep, there we go. We should all be caught up right now. Do apologise for the broken HUD right now. Yeah, it's a TF2 bug. It will be shortly. 90 seconds from when the pause happened, it should realign itself. Actually, mine's just realigned itself right now. That's pretty swift. Maybe TF2 slowly getting better at fixing its bug, as Tech actually goes down there on Soldier. I don't know if he's suiciding for Sniper or something.
He suicided for the medic, and there was just a heavy with the medic, so...
Yeah, I mean, this process point can be really hard to take. Probably one of the hardest in the game to take, Uber versus Uber. And actually, Walters is going to try and get aggressive on Sniper, but he does go down. Tech has come back on Sniper, though. And now with Walters down, he's going to have pretty much free reign.
I think
Looks
Epsilon...
like he wants to go rollout? Yeah.
Epsilon has already just pushed in with just War here. And Skeej has actually... multi this Uber a lot more than what Epsilon has, and it looks like the Ubers is almost equal. And right now Epsilon just need to get in and get those frags, and Tech goes down, but they do pick up GF18 and Rib, and we see the Epsilon scouts already on the point, and time is going down for them. And while they clear all these players, it's only 2 scouts and the medic against a scout and the medic, and Epsilon does take it.
Yeah, this ends to catch fair, but Epsilon always had more players and more health, so they can clean that up. And now it's 4-3. 7 minutes remaining. It really could go either way at this point. Really, I guess surprisingly even match. Like, I thought, you know, War and Tech, pretty big upgrades. It'd be pretty comfortable for them, even if they're new. But as we go into this first mid, War's taking a lot of early damage again, going to be forced back. Rib now taking a lot of damage. Soldier's going to come flying in from the top. Tech's going to go straight down, though. Now the Scouts trying to get aggressive onto the Fenix players, meanwhile there's Soldiers getting aggressive as well. But Fenneks just clearing up all these frags right now. Dominant mid.
Yeah, right now we just see like Fenneks have all the players available to them, while Epsilon has lost Roamer, and but Mike does get Walters while they were pushing into second there. A bit too overzealous, I think. Skiege goes down to Mike as well, and Mike is just hammering down on these people.
Okay, Efog, you're gonna have to take over caster right now because my girlfriend's forgotten her keys and is locked outside.
Okay. So we see War has ticked up the choke here. I think... no, it looks like Fenneks are just going to be happy to stay back here. They do have a large Uber disadvantage. It looks like Epsilon are already walking in with them and I, but they're quickly just standing there. It seems like they doesn't want to push in. Welcome back. It seems like they don't want to push in here because they're just waiting for the Uber, so they don't have to push in and sacrifice players in order to do that. The advantage is in their court, so it just seems to be really stalematey.
Yeah, I mean, Epsilon have no reason to do anything. Like, they're around 5.5 minutes left, Uber advantage. But it's not like a clear Uber advantage, it's not huge, it's just, 30% and CP2 on processors. Really easy to defend. So, I don't think they are going to do anything. Tech is just walking in right now. They are actually moving with it. They come through IT, they are going to Uber, but the Fenix team are really defensive. They're going to try and chase through, but Ski just now on 95%. They lose GF18 on the flank. Now here come the Fenix team, they're going to catch out War here, yeah, they're going to Uber. Soldier's trying to go to last, but he's going to get cleaned over players. The cap's going to be started on 2. Rib's actually kind of by himself, but he does pick up Nox. Will go down, but nice work from Rib there. Should set it up, and there is a Soldier going behind the Fenix team right now in lobby. Mike is behind in lobby. Really scattered fighting. Mike's going to go for Skid. He's going to get around corner, he's going to get juggled. Mike's able to trade with Kalari, but he doesn't get the frag he wants. 4.5 minutes left, and they've taken back 1 point, but they've got 3 more to go if they want to tie this up with Epsilon.
Yeah, I think Fenneks can just push this with the mana advantage that they have. It's just a matter of them not taking too much damage, and then when they do take damage, just healing up. Because right now it looks like Epsilon are punishing them for going this far forward, but they don't manage to pick up the frags.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like for a second there, like a couple of the Fenix Blessed overextended, but they both survived. And now with Tech getting picked off, getting caught out of position as sniper, Fenix might have a chance to go off for Ubers here if they want. Doesn't look like they want though. Looks like they're just going to play it safe and wait for Uber. Still 4 minutes left. The time is still ticking down, and Epsilon are now on the back foot. Both teams are going to have Uber. What way are Fenix coming? Are they coming through sewers?
It looks like they're going through sewers, yeah. And they have rotated all around. And Ubers have not been popped out yet. And Salmon does go down. Rib is trying to impose some damage onto the Epsilon players, but the Epsilon players are just playing on the high ground. Mitzi goes down by going overextending. And they're just staying in these positions, spamming each other. It looks like Epsilon is getting the worst out of it.
Yeah,
as Walters and GF18 picks up 2 frags, yeah.
A frag on the front, frag on the back. Kalari's going to go down. Both teams still have Uber. Nox is going to pop off now, but he drops Mike first. Poor Uber from Nox right there. Maybe still shaking off some of that medic rust. And Skiege might be able to keep this one for last. They should wait for more numbers now. It looks like he's going to just Uber Rib in by himself. This could be a huge misstep from Skiege and Rib. The scout's going to come in now. Maybe it'll work. They haven't killed anyone yet though. Wars doesn't look like he's going to go down. War's going to sneak out. It could be a huge misplay. Fenix might have thrown away one of the biggest opportunities, and Rib goes down as well. They'd be foolish to keep fighting this, and now Fenix are going to have to wait, build up an Uber and try again.
Yeah, they really should have waited for players there. They had such a clear advantage. They already, they saw Nox Uber right before them, and it was really bad Uber. They could have taken the time. Right now, Epsilon is just getting the better out of it.
They didn't even need to Uber through the door, and there was no... War didn't have time. They watched War fall out. They knew there were no traps. Like, they followed him there.
We do see GF18 hiding choke with a heavy right there. Be interesting to see what he does. He does show himself, so he's not going to be hiding anymore. Actually, he is.
No. Commitment. It's all about commitment in TF2. But yeah, again, Epsilon do have a 20%, 30% Uber advantage, but they're just going to let it dwindle away. They just need to not lose the cap here to win, to get all 3 points. And that's all that's going to be on their minds right now. They're going to force Fenneks to be the aggressor. So much spam coming in at that choke. Salmon's going to walk in. DF18's going to go down. We're going to try and initiate this. They've lost 2 people before the push has even started. Now Skiege is going to try and escape through sewers, but he is himself. He's probably going to have to pop here. He's going to have to pop himself out of the door. He's Uber to scout. They should be able to force Epsilon here, but Epsilon are going to have a much better Uber. Players are trying to go behind to try and cause some chaos, but half the Fenix team is down, and now the Epsilon players are on the chase. Rib gets launched super hard. Really big airshot attempt. Rib looks like he will survive, and Mike's actually going to get caught out overextending. But respawners are coming in now from Fenneks. Maybe they can go back in, but they do lose Rib on entry. Skeege is firing arrows, and Epsilon are maybe being forced back right now thanks to the spawn. But all the while, the time is ticking down. There's 1 minute left on the clock. Fenneks need to go now. They don't have time to wait for Uber. And War shuts down Salmon completely. And now looks like Epsilon want to come back in. The scouts are behind, though. The scouts are fighting different people, but Walters is isolated. GF18 didn't commit with him. They're trying to come through still, but Fenneks just really uncoordinated on this last push. I think everyone's panicking a little bit as the time is running out.
Epsilon, they're sending players into Fenneks all the time right there. They have such a large man advantage that all the damage they can gain is good damage. And it looks like Fenneks are just gripping to the game's life here. They have 30 seconds to get an even score, but it looks like that's out of the question. It looks like Epsilon will take this convincingly. This round at least.
Yeah, they're going to Nox has Uber, so he's just going to Uber through as well. Skeege writes, I am not impressed by your performance. Big words from a guy who's just lost 6 points. Epsilon coming into last. Heavy spawns, that might slow him down. War's just standing on the cap though, and that's going to be 5-3, and that's going to be GG. And that's it. What do you make of that, E-Fog?
I don't know, that was too close to comfort for Epsilon, I think. But I think Mitzi had much to do with how even it was. Like, as you said yourself, like they just kept on losing the flank after the Ubers, and that's what made Fenneks like get there in. And that's what I said as well. Like they needed to get that initial pick and then go from it afterwards, and that's exactly what happened on the Ubers. And it was just, I don't know, like Fenneks managed to equalize it a bit, but not too much, not enough.